Dear students, welcome back to our e-learning program. As you know, chemistry continues, chapter number 2, that is acid, base and salt. In that particular chapter, you have already attended 8 lectures, right? And in 8 lectures, we are able to understand in detail about acid and base. You are given idea about just a brief of the previous lectures. You are given idea regarding general concepts of acid base, their natural sources. Then we have give you an idea regarding indicators. Then you already got the idea regarding chemical properties of acid and base. That also you are given idea, and then we have given you idea regarding pH scale. Understand? As far as in our 8 lectures, we are able to cover up to pH scale. Understood? As I told you in the last lecture regarding pH scale, we have solved one simple numerical to find the pH of neutral water, that you all know. Understood? And when we meet after the school restart, understand, we will practice some more examples of pH scale. But today our target is to discuss in our lecture number 9 today, and mostly I hope we will be able to complete the topic of salt maybe in 1 or 2 lectures. Okay. Now in our lecture number 9 today, lecture number 9, okay, we are going to discuss about, we have already confined our discussion of acid and base, and today we are targeting about salts. Okay, we will discuss in detail about various salts. When we discuss about acid and base, salt automatically come in between, that you all know. You already studied the neutralization reaction. When acid and base react with each other, neutralize each other's effect on form salt and water. One more thing regarding salt, if we want to discuss today, you already know. And my dear student, one more thing, how can you come to know that particular chemical is a salt? The name of the all salts, understand, generally ends with chloride. Whenever you speak the name of any compound and chloride, that's the end, that means they are salt. Whenever you speak the name of any compound and at the end there is carbonates, that means they are salt. When you speak of any chemical compound and at the end you say sulfate, that means they are also salt. So when you speak the name of any compound, and if the name ends with either chloride, either sulfate, or either carbonate, that means they are salt. You understood one thing? By this name they end, that means they are salt. So today we are going to discuss, this is some general concept. It may sometime arise in our mind, what can be called salt? The name of any compound ends with chloride, ends with carbonate, ends with sulfate, are known as salts. So just before we start, you just start thinking in your mind so many salts you know, lots of. Just you start speaking the name of chemical compound in your mind. So suppose sodium chloride, obviously salt, calcium chloride, obviously salt, magnesium chloride, obviously salt, calcium carbonate, obviously salt, sodium bicarbonate, obviously salt, sodium carbonate, obviously salt, understand, calcium sulfate, salt, magnesium sulfate, salt, understand, take an example, another calcium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, sodium sulfate, again a salt, barium chloride, salt, understand. So today our discussion is confined only about salts. And one of the salt, if I just mention, I don't think to mention the name of that salt even. You all know sodium chloride, that is NaCl, which we call common salt, or sometimes we also call it edible salt. It can also be sometimes called table salt. That salt is utilized in daily life. Understand? Now, my dear student, that salt which you are eating, understand, that salt is passing under so many processes. Understand? Then it comes to you white, actually white micro powder of salt. It's a very complicated process for manufacturing of salt. Understand? Highly refined iodized salt. That's another concept, but at the same time, my dear student, have you heard this word? You must have heard this word, if I write rock salt. Have you heard this word, rock salt? Actually, what are rock salts? So, my dear student, one thing you have to make it clear, that our earth is undergoing so many tectonic changes. Some geographical changes are taking place in our earth, and it can happen. You all know that major rich source of salt is obviously the seawater. So some sea water of some bygone ages, understand, must have dried up, and they are found when the earth is dug, excavated, understand, in the form of solid rock salt, we call it. It is actually a brown salt consisting of lots of impurities, understand. So that salt, which is actually a part of the natural process which has occurred, understand, bygone ages the sea water has dried up, understand, and it has deposited in the form of solid, which we call a rock salt, or we also sometimes call it brown salt, understand. So that is rock salt. From this rock salt also, by some process of crushing, refining, bleaching, we are able to get sodium chloride. Okay. Now, my dear student, you all know about one salt very well, that is sodium chloride, NaCl. You know the importance of this salt? This salt, which we call sodium chloride, is so much important because sodium chloride salt, which we got, understand, is a raw material for so many other compound. Sodium chloride is a raw material for making. We will discuss in lecture. That time you will come to know. But sodium chloride is ultimately a raw material for many things. From sodium chloride, we are able to produce hydrogen gas. From sodium chloride, you just note down, we are able to get chlorine gas. From sodium chloride, we are able to get a very important compound. Understand, if I mention the name, you must be knowing. lots of product are obtained, understand, from lots of product. I mentioned few. I mentioned one, that is sodium chloride can be a raw material for production of chlorine gas. It can be a raw material for production of hydrogen gas. It can be even a raw material for production of NaOH. NaOH you all know, which is known as sodium hydroxide. Understand? So sodium hydroxide can also be produced, right, from sodium chloride. At the same time, sodium chloride can also be a raw material for the production of, understand, I mentioned one name, that is baking soda. We will discuss in detail baking soda. And from baking soda, because we are going to produce washing soda, so obviously you can say that uh, sodium chloride is also a raw material for the production of washing soda also. Understand? So many products. And you all must be knowing one thing very clear. Washing soda is ultimately can be utilized to produce detergent powder. You know that? Understand? Washing soda can also be utilized to produce detergent, okay, right? And you are already knowing that nearby in Bhavnagar district we have Nirma factory, which produces not only soap but detergent also. So for that detergent, actually washing soda is the raw material. And for preparing washing soda, sodium chloride is the raw material. That's why in Bhavnagar, if you go from Bhavnagar to Ahmedabad highway, you see lots of salt pans on both the sides of the highway, because that salt pan are not only producing edible salt, but they provide raw material sodium chloride to this industry, which produces washing soda from that, and from washing soda detergent powder can be produced. Understand? So actually sodium chloride, no doubt, used as an edible salt, that's confirmed. That though we all know that it is utilized for this purpose also, but at the same time you should remember one thing, that it is a raw material for so many things. Understand? And one thing I must mention, that sodium chloride, you all know, though it is not mentioned in the textbook, but you all know when any person has fever, understand, we always try to reduce the fever even under the guidance of doctor, and is to reduce the fever. Understand what we are doing? We are taking a cotton cloth, understand, that cotton cloth is dipped in sodium chloride solution, and it is kept on the head of that person who got fever. What actually sodium chloride is doing, what is its role? It is one of the heat absorber also. It will reduce your body temperature and gives you a great relief when you have high fever. Understand? So that is also one of the use of sodium chloride. Today, my dear student, we are going to discuss about other salt, but first we will discuss about where sodium chloride can be used as raw material. Okay? So my first target today is to discuss how sodium chloride can be utilized for making chlorine, hydrogen and sodium hydroxide. Understand? So today our topic is one thing should I mention, that we are discussing today how sodium chloride can be a raw material for production of chlorine, hydrogen and sodium hydroxide. We will discuss in later stage of the lecture, that is baking soda and washing soda also, but first our target is this only. Okay, so I am just erasing this baking soda and that washing soda. Okay, now let's discuss this in detail, how sodium chloride can be used as raw material for the production of chlorine gas, hydrogen gas, as well as sodium hydroxide. Understand, my dear student, that process where sodium chloride can be utilized as a raw material for the production of three products. First, that is chlorine. Second, that is hydrogen. Third, that is sodium hydroxide. Understand? So that process where you are producing chlorine gas, hydrogen gas, as well as one of the alkali also base, that is sodium hydroxide. So that process where sodium chloride is utilized for the production of one alkali and chlorine gas is also known as, I just mentioned the name of that process, it is known as chlor-alkali process. You should note down. Chlor-alkali process. That process is actually utilizing sodium chloride as a raw material for the production of what? Hydrogen gas, chlorine gas, as well as sodium hydroxide. Let us discuss chlor-alkali process in detail. Okay, though it hasn't been mentioned with diagram and all in the textbook, I'm just giving you a brief concept of that. Suppose during chlor-alkali process, actually, take one vessel, suppose. Just try to understand it. One vessel is taken, okay? Uh, After you take one vessel, which is actually electrolyte vessel, in this vessel, okay, in this vessel, we are taking sodium chloride solution, NaCl solution. How to prepare NaCl solution, that I do not have to teach to 10th standard student. You have to dissolve sodium chloride, understand itself in water. So my dear student, here we have taken sodium chloride solution, okay, that means sodium chloride dissolved in water. You understood this? This is actually NaCl plus H2O. Sodium chloride is already dissolved in water. Okay. At the same time, because we want to pass electricity through this sodium chloride solution, understand, we have to take two electrodes. Suppose one electrode is here, this is one electrode, understand, and another electrode, okay, two electrodes are there, right? uh, from these two electrodes can be utilized for the purpose of passing electric current through this, okay, two electrodes. Obviously both the electrode has to be attached with the external source of electric supply that you all know. Okay, suppose this way I show. Okay, and let us join the electrode with this external source of electric supply. This is switch to pass the current for negative positive. This is negative and this positive. So obviously this become cathode. Okay, that you all know very well, and this becomes anode. Okay, so this is the total uh, apparatus arrangement we want, at least during the chlor-alkali process. Understood? Now actually what happens? You have taken sodium chloride solution in this vessel already, And when you actually this sodium chloride solution which we have taken means we dissolve sodium chloride in water, that is also sometimes known as, you should note down this name, it is also known as brine. Understand? So we have taken brine, that is sodium chloride solution. Now actually what happens? Sodium chloride solution has been taken in the vessel. Two electrodes are kept for the passing of electric current. Okay. Now my dear student, what actually happens when electric current is passed through this solution? Three products are obtained. How we obtain these three products? Let us first write the chemical equation which will take place. Understand? When electric current is passed through the brine, that is sodium chloride solution. Actually, what type of chemical reaction might be taking place? I may write here. Suppose NaCl we have taken, and you all know sodium chloride has been taken in which form? That is in aqueous solution form. So you need to mention here aqua. That's compulsory. Okay. Plus you have dissolved sodium chloride in water. Okay. So I have to write plus H2O obviously. Now you know, because in first chapter you studied in detail about chemical reaction. Sodium chloride solution is taken. When we pass electric current through this solution, when electric current is passed through this solution, understand, actually we are able to get three products. I already mentioned the name of this process as chlor-alkali process. One alkali and chlorine gas, that the combination of that name called chlor-alkali process. So actually what are the product we are obtaining when electric current is passed? One is NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide, obviously in aqua form, because that happens in dissolution form. Sodium hydroxide is obtained. At the same time, we are also able to get hydrogen obviously in gaseous format and chlorine obviously in gaseous format. So my dear student, three products we are able to obtain. Understand, just to balance, here there are two chlorine atoms, so you just write 2. To balance you write 2 here. Okay. 2 sodium, 2 chlorine are balanced. For balance hydrogen also 2, 2 to the 4. Here 2 to the 4. Already it is balanced chemical equation. So three products we obtain when electric current is passed through brine, that is sodium chloride solution. Understand? These three products, one is hydrogen gas, one is chlorine gas, and one is sodium hydroxide. My dear student, you should understand, hydrogen gas is obtained here at cathode. Mind this. Hydrogen gas is obtained at cathode. Chlorine gas is obtained at anode. Understand? And sodium hydroxide solution collects here near cathode. This is actually sodium hydroxide solution. So three products are obtained as a result of by passing electric current through brine, that is sodium chloride solution. And my dear student, you all know all these three products, either hydrogen or chlorine or sodium hydroxide, understand, all are very very important, because from sodium chloride you obtain these three products. But these three products are individually very very useful. just you try to understand the uses of chlorine. So chlorine is useful for so many purposes. Chlorine is useful as a disinfectant. Understand, even in swimming pool also, the chlorine gas is passed as a disinfectant. Same chlorine gas is also passed in actually a water treatment plant through water to kill the germs as a germicide to make the potable water hygienic. Understand? Same chlorine can also be utilized for producing CFC, chlorofluorocarbon gas. Understand? So many uses of chlorine you can remind in your mind. Understand? One use, if I mention that chlorine gas is also utilized for production of bleaching powder, so that we will discuss actually four uses that I just mentioned. You know, bleaching powder, some people are utilizing bleaching liquid at their home. Understanding, even the for the facial bleaching is utilized. If you smell that bleaching liquid, which is also utilized as a tiles cleaner in somebody's house, understand, as well as the bleaching which you apply, so that contains chlorine, and that smell you immediately sense. So these are some uses of chlorine. You can list out other uses of chlorine also. Disinfectant, that's the commonplace use of chlorine. Take an example, my dear student, hydrogen gas. The hydrogen gas, which are the uses? Take an example, hydrogen gas is one of the promising fuel for future. Though today we are not utilizing hydrogen as a domestic fuel because of its explosive nature, because it consists of almost 150 kilojoule per gram energy it will release, understand? And not only that, it is actually explosive in nature, so we are not able to utilize hydrogen nowadays as a domestic fuel, but it is one of the promising future for us. Today, because of its highly explosive nature, we don't utilize as a domestic fuel, but the same hydrogen, because of explosive nature and because it has got high calorific value, is obviously utilized in rocket as a liquid fuel. Liquid hydrogen utilized in rocket, understand, because there you need the explosiveness of that. So there it is utilized, liquid hydrogen as a fuel in rocket. Same hydrogen can also be utilized for production of, if you can understand, the production of vegetable ghee. Have you heard the word? We all utilize ghee at our home. One ghee you will purchase from dairy or somebody are even preparing at home also. And one ghee is available from provision store, which we sometimes call dalda ghee. Understand? So that vegetable ghee is produced by the reaction of vegetable oil which you all are eating. Understand? Plus hydrogen. Due to the addition reaction of hydrogen and that vegetable oil, vegetable ghee is produced. The process is called hydrogenation. Understand? So hydrogen is also utilized to make vegetable ghee. Same hydrogen is also utilized to make margarine. Understand? Same hydrogen can be also utilized. One process I should mention, other uses though I haven't mentioned. Regarding chlorine, I mentioned four uses and you must have noted down. Regarding hydrogen also, I mentioned three uses. You must have noted down, but at least one use, the process name I should mention, and that you have to be carefully remembering, Haber's process. That is for the production of ammonia gas. Understand? NH3, that means ammonia. The hydrogen can also be utilized, understand, for the production of ammonia gas. So these are some, and lots of other uses you can remind in your mind. 3 to 4 so I just mentioned, so that is also sufficient. Another uses are maybe there and you can list out those uses. 4 uses I mentioned. Liquid hydrogen as a fuel, understand, in rocket. one of the promising future fuel for domestic use. Understand, the same hydrogen in Haber's process for the production of ammonia gas. Right. Hydrogen is utilized for production of vegetable ghee, the process of hydrogenation which take place, understand, for the production of that vegetable ghee. So all these are uses of hydrogen itself. Understand, about the chlorine also I mentioned. If you combine hydrogen and chlorine, they also give lots of uses. When hydrogen and chlorine combine, obviously they form hydrochloric acid, understand? So that hydrochloric acid is also utilized for so many purposes. So ultimately when you discuss individually regarding use of hydrogen and individually regarding the use of chlorine, so they have individual use, but at the same time combination of hydrogen and chlorine can produce hydrogen chloride, that is hydrochloric acid. If these two combine, it produces what? By combination of these two, hydrogen chloride. Hydrochloric acid can also be produced, and hydrochloric acid, my dear student, you know lots of uses of hydrochloric acid are there. In steel industry also hydrochloric acid is required. It is also utilized for making cosmetics, understand, at the same time. Not only cosmetics, but it is also utilized for making medicines. So lots of use of hydrogen chloride is also there. Understand? Now suppose the third product, alkali, sodium hydroxide, which actually collects in liquid form, aqueous form near the cathode, that sodium hydroxide is also important. This sodium hydroxide is actually utilized for producing, mainly I should mention the name, that is for producing bleaching. You know the bleaching powder as well as bleaching liquid available at home. Actually, you know the meaning of bleach? Meaning of bleach is to decolorize. So obviously, bleaching liquid is utilized in our home as a tiles cleaner. The same bleaching liquid, understand, or bleaching powder is also utilized, understand, in laundries for washing clothes and for removing those rigid stains on your cloth, understand. At the same time, this bleaching can also be utilized in suppose in cotton industry for bleaching the cotton pulp, because the pulp, cotton pulp, even in paper industry, the pulp which is prepared to roll out into thin sheets, understand, that pulp is not actually pure whitish, but actually the bleaching is utilized to bleach it. To bleach means, you understood? When you are speaking the word to bleach, that means what? You are decolorizing it. Understand? So that is utilization of sodium hydroxide already for production of that bleaching liquid which we know. Understand? Now if I mention one another use of sodium hydroxide, so that becomes little difficult for you to understand, but it is also utilized, understand, for production of synthetic fiber also. Synthetic fiber word, though new for you, but I must mention, if I give you an idea, when I am speaking that sodium hydroxide, I have mentioned some of the use, that is for production of bleaching, that you understood. And bleaching is so much important that you all know, understand. It is also utilized for production of one thing, one word I utilize, that is synthetic fiber. What does it mean? Understand? So a synthetic fiber means ultimately the strings, fibers. If I ask you, mention the name of some of the fiber, they are cotton, natural fiber, so you will say cotton, jute, understand, wool are actually natural fiber, but we all are not wearing the clothes made from only natural fiber. we are wearing clothes made up of some artificial fibers. Take an example, raiment. Actually, raiment cloth material is actually rayon fiber, reprocessed cotton. Understand? To give cotton a more polished, understand, and shining look. Understand? So that rayon fiber which is produced, nylon fiber, so that is also artificial fiber. Understand? Rayon is also artificial fiber, right? So for the production of synthetic artificial fiber, also we are utilizing ultimately sodium hydroxide and a bleaching, so you know, and you should mind the use of bleach. Bleach means to decolorize. Understand? And when somebody speak decolorize, your mindset has to be clear. Decolorize, that means in a cotton pulp, you must be knowing one other thing, that is recycling industries. Suppose paper industry, you people are utilizing papers in your notebooks, plus at our home newspapers, magazines, all things. When you just sell them or you give to some other person, that person actually sell it to the paper industry, and the same paper which are sold by you are actually recycled. But when the recycling take place, actually what happens, that pulp or that papers, understand, are kept in water, treated with some chemical for some period of time, and from that pulp is prepared. Now that pulp which is prepared, obviously it is never white. Understood? And you just roll out the seeds from that, the seed may not be white. So what is actually happening? That pulp is decolorized, that is bleached with the help of this bleaching prepared from sodium hydroxide. Because that pulp is decolorized, bleached, it becomes totally white, and then it is recycled into sheets of paper, notebook prepared, utilized for printing, magazines, newspaper, again come to us. After it is coming to us, again what we do? Again the same process. We again give them, after utilization, again the reprocess, again the pulp is prepared, pulp is bleached, and again the white pulp is obtained, and then it is rolled into the sheets. Understand? So these are some uses of sodium hydroxide also. Understood, my dear students? So today, before we move ahead, understand, in our next lecture, one thing is clear. We have discussed about what? So we have discussed about one of the very important process which can be asked as a short note in exam, that is called chlor-alkali process. What is the meaning of chlor-alkali process? So the process where three products are obtained. One is sodium hydroxide, one is hydrogen gas, and one is chlorine gas. Sodium hydroxide, which is base, can be called alkali, and chlorine gas, which is produced, you utilize the word chlor for that. Understand? That's why if you combine, the process is industrially known as chlor-alkali process, where we are just passing electric current through sodium chloride solution. And after passing electric current through sodium chloride solution, we are able to get three products, NaOH, H2Cl2. NaOH will collect near the cathode, hydrogen gas is obtained at cathode, chlorine gas is obtained at anode, and then we discussed about its various uses. Individually also they are useful, in combination form also they are useful. So this way the chlor-alkali process. Actually in textbook they have just mentioned that when electric current is passed through brine, you can draw a simple diagram for the basic understanding of chlor-alkali process. You understood this? So my dear student, before we end this lecture, which topic, let's just have a look at the topic we have taken. We have taken some briefing about what is rock salt. Understand rock salt you all know, and we have discussed it also. At the same time, we also discussed the actually diversified uses of sodium chloride. Sodium chloride, no doubt, as an edible salt, that we all know very well. But at the same time, sodium chloride is one of the raw material for the production of which three products? Sodium hydroxide. Understand, sodium hydroxide has also got another name, common name, caustic soda. What is its name? Caustic soda. So three products are obtained. One is sodium hydroxide, you understood, one is hydrogen, and one is chlorine gas. All three products which we have obtained, NaOH, Cl2, H2, have got their individual importance and individual uses also. That also we discussed. You can also think of yourself and list out some other uses also. Understand, I have mentioned 4 to 5 uses of each and every product. I mentioned uses of hydrogen, chlorine, and at the same time I also mentioned uses of sodium hydroxide, that is caustic soda. You understood this, okay? So today's topic, that is chlor-alkali process and what is rock salt. Understood? So we will continue our discussion regarding salt in our next lecture also, but for today, this has been a clear understanding about that, about rock salt, okay, about chlor-alkali process. And my dear student, no doubt, when we discuss about other salt, we will discuss in detail regarding that. Understand? We will be able to complete this chapter in our next lecture. Okay? So my dear student, for attending today's lecture, and I hope and expect that you might be getting my points quite clearly during my lectures. Understood? And as some students are sending diagrams to me and asking that will it work, but I must mention one thing, that as far as the biology diagram are concerned, you should stick to the textbook. I have already drawn diagram, understand, and in next lectures you will be showing me drawing diagram live. As I told you, in biology your diagram has to be labeled and perfect, that is requirement. And principally you have to be very, very correct. Doesn't mean that your diagram only sounds your answer. Understand, good diagram, label diagram, okay, but you needs to be very, very rich in your content. Your content is very, very important. Okay, my dear student. So a good diagram in biology you should do. Understand, because it may fetch good marks, and it actually what happens, it create your good impression on the mind of the paper checker. So that you should keep in mind. Okay. So my dear student, thank you very much for attending today's lecture from Bharat sir.